Hey fellas, I've been on that Helldivers 2 grind, and although it's very mechanically similar to the first, it is very obvious that this game has some real effort and love packed within its $40 price tag. It opens up a lot of new stuff, which is really interesting, and I've fallen in love with its action-packed extraction sequences and its enemies. But one aspect which has intertwined itself within the core of this game is its support weapons. From railguns to straight up ripped out of the book Javelin portable anti-tank missiles made by Texas Instruments. If you are new to the game, this video is for you, showing you all the aspects of each of the support weapons and which one you should equip on your next mission. And for the fun of it, we're doing a tier list. All guns will only be used on bugs for this video, so maybe if this video gets very popular, I'll use it on robots as well. Number 1, the machine gun. The definition of spray and pray. Do you have an assortment of enemies in front of you? Do you need to hold a choke point? And can you stabilize heavy recoil? Well, this gun is for you. It kills fast, and that is usually all you need, except when you don't. It can't kill a charger or like any other heavily armored enemy, which is a problem we will see a lot in the future guns. But I was surprised going back to this weapon later on in the game. It shreds for its early game use, so high-end B tier. Number 2, anti-material rifle. A very awkward weapon. Far range isn't a problem for 90% of the game, as enemies come to you, and you would think it does high-end damage, but it doesn't. It's light vehicle armor damage, and it's barely noticeable, and it doesn't kill chargers or bio-titans effectively. So what is it useful for? Nothing. This shit. F tier. Stalwart. Very similar to the machine gun. Now, disappointing damage is a harsh term, but it has high capacity and reloads on the move, so it's good for beginner players, but useless long term, and of course, it can't kill chargers effectively. So this gun kinda replaces your primary's job. High-end D tier though, expendable anti-tank. Finally, a gun that kills big dudes, and pretty effectively too, being able to take down a Bile Titan in 3 shots. But that's kinda the problem. Expendable. Overall, it's not a bad gun, but for more long-term missions, you're gonna need something that you can use multiple times. High-end B tier. Recoilless rifle. You would think that this is an upgraded anti-tank rifle, but it has much less damage. It takes about your entire clip to kill a Bile Titan, and that kinda defeats the purpose of it. It's supposed to be able to be used over and over. And yeah, that's just less deployments than the anti-tank, but it's so slow to reload. And don't tell me dual reload is effective, because no one does it. I have 50 hours of playtime, and not a single person has ever done it. And I wouldn't be so mad if I didn't see so many people using this weapon. It isn't that good. This is also the first rifle to have a backpack, which will automatically give the associated gun a more negative tier, because you could be equipping jetpacks, shields, drones, or anything else instead, but no. This is ammo for a bad gun on your back instead, which can also only be refilled at resupplies and not random ammo packs you find. Moving on though, the flamethrower. Has the flamethrower been good in like any game? It's okay here, but by the time an enemy gets within range for you to use your flamethrower, it's pretty much already within range to hit you. Getting yourself into those risky situations in the first place is usually not a good idea, but it's pretty good at killing chargers, as you're always going to be close to one if it aggroes onto you. The flamethrower can take out the charger and the hordes around it pretty quickly. It has no backpack too, so it's okay, but of course can't kill a Bile Titans and kinda also replaces your primary, so C tier. The autocannon. The first good weapon in this tier list. This baby deletes larger enemies from across the map and has a lot of ammo. Despite it having a backpack, its reload is surprisingly fast and largely doable while being chased. Its damage is insane. It can even destroy bug nests, which you will be doing a lot. Yeah, it's got a backpack, but it's worth it. S tier. Let me quickly interrupt this tier list. I will make another video or even another section on the stratagems from orbitals and eagles to sentries and backpacks, but only if this video gets 10k likes. And while you're at it, why not subscribe? This video takes a while to make, and all the videos before it, and subscribing helps a lot and is very much appreciated. We're moving on. The spear. This was my goal at the start of the game, thinking it would have the highest damage and being able to insta-kill anything with the 4 bullets it spawns with, but just take a look at this clip. What? Yeah, it deals the most amount of damage in the game, but the one enemy I hate the most is barely phased. It's useful in situations, don't get me wrong. It has its place in short maps and maps with a lot of Bile Titans, but useless in hordes of enemies. You may as well use a 500k bomb, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It pretty much makes Bile Titans and charges 95% easier to deal with, and that's by far my biggest problem, so A tier. The grenade launcher, one of the few that can destroy nests, and also does not require a backpack. It has high ammo, large AoE, decent damage, early game. Is this the perfect weapon? Kinda. With the only downside being blowing yourself up, which you should allocate primary to do close range damage anyways. This weapon is overall awesome. I practically grew up with this weapon, but despite its decent damage, it isn't enough to kill big guys. So it's just stray off being S tier, but at least it's A tier. The laser cannon. Uses no ammo, medium to long range, overall useful if it did like any damage. This weapon is once again useless against bigger enemies, but the weapon itself is fun to use and has infinite ammo, and it's nice to have when you're constantly on the run, but yep, it replaces long range primary, as there's a gun which literally does the same thing. C tier. The arc thrower is a piece of shit. Yeah, it can shoot far away and has spread damage, but the spread damage barely works and its damage is abysmal. Yes, it has infinite ammo, but when has a long-ranged weapon ever had a problem with ammo? This gun is so bad, just use a primary weapon instead. Honestly, it's F tier.
And finally, the railgun. The fucking holy grail jack of all trades. Of course I left this best for last.
You don't like that menacing alien over there? Boom, he's dead. How about that one across the map? Nope, dead too. And how about that big Vile Titan himself? Buried. This gun gets you out of all of the hairy situations your primary weapon can't. And it doesn't even have a backpack. It has high ammo, very high damage, high range. What is wrong with this weapon? It's perfect. And by far, my favorite gun. And a very obvious S tier. Also, if you skip to this part in the video just looking at the tier list, subscribe please, I beg. Anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed. I spent a lot of time on this, and I hope you should buy the game if you haven't already. It's a great game, and overall, a $40 price tag is worth it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.